But before all of that, you want to talk about one of the biggest leaks in video game history, Jeremy?
Yeah. So last night I'm at a bar.
Like 11 p.m.
Yeah, I'm at a pub with my partner. We're waiting for our meal that they forgot to put through the system for a long time, which was really annoying.
Worst.
They give us 2 free beers. To which case, when they ask, what size would you like your 2 free beers, we both immediately were like, pints. Because why would you not?
Kegs.
Yeah. Kegs. Barrels. And every now and again, I'm checking my phone. Only to see GTA 6 is trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is GTA 6 trending on Twitter? Because, look, trends come and go very quickly. Like when there's nothing major happening, they will be there for 5 minutes and then move on. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on Twitter. Let's see what's happening. And I'm inundated with clips, footage, in-game footage, in development footage of what appears to be a third-person shooter in a city. Looks quite unfinished. Definitely not finished. And I'm like, wow, that looks fairly real. And I keep scrolling and there's more. And then there's more. And then there's debugging information. And there is so much debugging information in some of those clips. Like, what direction every part of the body is facing, different systems.
Like pages of code.
Yeah. And then there's more information. And then there is images of scripts. And then I start to post them in Discord, and you and I sort of go back and forth about its legitimacy. We're trying to figure out. We're trying to piece it together.
You were pretty on board pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical for the longest time.
Yeah, you were the biggest skeptic of them.
Yeah, you said GTA 6 might have actually leaked. It's hard to tell if it's legit or not. And I said, I really don't think so. This looked to me like a very impressive student game, not a Rockstar budget pre-alpha.
And I keep going through and I keep posting more and I keep seeing, like, I see news reports, like, just sort of detailing some of it, and then so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to the source. I'm going to try and find out where this is coming from. And it's coming from a post on GTAforums.com.
That's a great name.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it's not actually a pun because the GTAs just have numbers. It's not like the GTA forums for GTA 4. But GTA 4 is such a title that in like gaming history that it like is by default a pun.
Yeah, GTA forums. It's long story short, this is real. I'm gonna go through some of the timeline of it, but like at the end of this, like this is legitimately one of the biggest leaks that has happened in games. Certainly the biggest that has ever happened to Rockstar. This post has since been deleted. Like the entire like thread has been nuked from the website. Take-Two has gone around like DMCAing every video of it that's popped up on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. People will easily be able to find that information. I'm sure it's still on some websites, but like,
that's why we're not showing any.
I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to tell you where to find it. If you're smart enough, you could probably do it, but fucking, look, genuinely, it's interesting to look at from a perspective of like, hey, it's a game of development. It's not interesting to look at in terms of like, oh my god, it's GTA 6 because it's
what details can I find out? It looks so bland and boring.
It's
and
so
unfinished.
early. It is very
so early.
It is very early. It's very unfinished. No one's saying, oh my god, they're making another Grand Theft Auto. Of course, they're making another Grand Theft Auto. It's more interesting to look at if you are interested in game development for the most part as almost a curiosity more than anything. There's not a whole lot of information you get out of it in terms of like any info about the game. Anyway, the thread is titled GTA 6 leak 90 plus MP4 footage / videos. That's the title of it.
90 plus MP4 footage.
And the leaker just says the words, hi, here are 90 footage / clips of GTA 6. It's possible I could leak some more data soon. GTA 5 and 6 source code and assets. GTA 6 testing build. Now, that is a giant thing to say that you have.
Yes, that's the kind of thing that no one ever has.
No.
Even when CD Projekt Red got hacked, we didn't see this kind of stuff.
Yeah, apparently some of that stuff did get out there, but it was sold online, and I think CD Projekt Red bought it. So large companies like this, when they are big enough, they have the budget to basically pay a ransom.
Pay ransom.
Yes.
They have ransom money.
And look, like, they should, because there's potentially quite a lot of sensitive information they can get out for some of this stuff. I
thought you were like, they owe the hackers their ransom.
Fuck no. I'm not condoning this in any way. I want to be very clear. This is like a bad thing to have happened to this company, not because of we got to see some footage of Grand Theft Auto 6, but the fact that this person was able to hack into this company is a bad thing.
Like they could have found personal information, passwords, login details.
So the person who did this definitely did have access to a lot of this stuff. They went on to detail that they got into the internal Slack, which is the communication system a lot of companies use, for Rockstar, as well as Rockstar's Confluence page and system, which Confluence, for those who don't know, is a knowledge base / Wikipedia that companies use all the time to detail projects, HR information, like everything, company milestones, meeting notes, anything. It's a centralized source of information. That's bad that someone was able to get into that. This person was saying that they were the same person who hacked into Uber the other week. I have no idea if that's true or not, but as far as we're aware, they used the exact same technique, which was to pretend to be someone working in the company to get a password reset, which then allowed them to just spiral into getting into more and more systems. Immediately people were like asking for more and more proof, and like this person was going back and forth and basically taking requests, saying like, what do you want to see? I can get it to you, sort of thing. And people are saying like, show me like a screenshot of this file inside this game, because someone who has knowledge about the game, and like from like modding tools, for example, was like, hey, like, you know, I understand how to read some of the files that GTA 5 uses. Like, show me a GTA 6 file version of this, and then they were posting it. Like they were giving over and over again proof, more and more and more proof. Someone who is in the middle of a lawsuit with Rockstar for selling Grand Theft Auto cheats posted in the forums, and then
my god,
and then decided, I'm going to stop posting here and call my lawyer because I probably shouldn't be involved in this conversation. You fucking moron.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Could you imagine only having that thought like 10 minutes into, like,
so
could you imagine your first thought not being, I'm staying away from this?
Yeah, right. And like, and to be a little bit fair to them, they posted before there was a lot of proof.
Okay.
And then more proof, and then they dipped, right? Like,
yeah.
The thread honestly was pretty wild. I was going through it a lot before it got taken down. There was a lot going on. They also posted their Telegram information, saying if anyone has any more information, feel free to message my Telegram. And like I did, yeah, I did.
Did you get a response?
No, so they read it, but the Telegram has since been deleted. Because I was curious, I literally messaged them being like, hi, I saw your post. I'm just curious. Can you provide some just a little bit more context about some of it? Not interested about specifics of the game, but just more about like the videos themselves. But their whole Telegram has been nuked. All of this, not great. Like the game getting leaked. Like, you know, sure, whatever, like, people are sad that some of the stuff they worked on is getting shown before they wanted to do. That's not great.
The public response has been somewhat shitty.
Oh, the public response is fucking stupid, but it's stupid every single fucking time. Anybody that doesn't like, people that refuse to learn how games are made are dumb, and they should be treated as dumb.
Yeah, like a lot of people being like, "Oh, I can't believe it. They've been working on this for 9 years." It's like, mate, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
9 years?
Yeah. The people who were looking at this, look, here's the thing, like, Grand Theft Auto, Take-Two, Rockstar, like, they're going to be all right. Like,
They're fine. They're fine.
They are fine.
No one feels sad for the company. Feel sad for the artists and the developers.
So it goes on. It goes on for a little bit. What happens after this is maybe more interesting. I'm not sure if you know about this, Kira. I don't know how closely you've been following it. The hacker has since so this is I'm now reading tweets from Tom Henderson, who was following it more closely and has a couple of good summary tweets. A couple of GTA 6 leaks updates. The hacker has requested that someone from Rockstar / Take-Two contact them after going, quote, unexpectedly viral, as if they were not going to be yeah, right.
I mean, I can actually believe that as that being their mindset, because if they thought they could post 90 videos of what they knew to be legitimate development footage of a game that we haven't seen in the wild yet, for like the sequel to the biggest game ever sold, literally ever,
yeah,
and not be taken down for it, when they would, oh yeah, no, there's so much lack of thought going into that, considering that they knew that it was real.
And like, as far as I'm aware, I've seen this talked about quite a lot as if it's fact. I haven't fact checked it myself, but people are talking about the Uber hack, the one that, so if those that aren't aware, Uber had a massive hack the other day that compromised their internal Slack channels, their Amazon AWS, a ton of finance information. Like, it's going to be like a thing. That's going to be like a huge story over the next couple of months.
Right, like the Sony hack.
Like, I think it's actually worse than that. Because this could potentially have like damaging lawsuits against Uber. People are talking about the person who hacked Uber to be an 18-year-old.
Okay.
Which is like, I don't know if the person who hacked Rockstar and the person who hacked Uber, it was the same person, but people are talking about the Uber hackers if they're 18 years old. The language this Rockstar hacker is using is pretty immature.
Yeah, it also seems borderline English not as a first language.
Like perhaps. But I think maybe like, them talking about themselves going unexpectedly viral, like they kind of got quite nervous quite quickly.
Right.
Which makes me think they didn't quite realize they obviously
what
knew
they were doing.
Like they clearly knew what they were doing, but they maybe didn't quite realize that what they were doing was actually trying to extort a major company.
Yeah.
So they were saying, yeah, if you're an employee of Rockstar trying to contact me, send me a message containing blah, 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 blah on Telegram. And then we started to see legitimate Take-Two interactive DMCA things. They then said the hacker has updated the original post saying that they are, quote, looking to negotiate a deal. Which is like, what are you doing?
Like it's a hostage situation. My goodness.
Then it goes on. A person pretending to be a Rockstar / Take-Two employee managed to speak with the hacker. Because how would they verify that they work at Take-Two?
Right.
Once again states that he has source code and told him that the, quote, IT team can check the logs for proof. This is via someone on Twitter named John Hay, who apparently was the one who was impersonating the hacker to talk to this person. Sorry, impersonating a employee.
An employee.
Then we see some information come out saying that the hacker has now said he will sell GTA 5 source code and assets and will not accept any offers under 5 figures. The GTA 6 source code is not for sale at this moment.
5 figures! Oh,
So-
watch out, big spender.
It continues.
5 figures.
They were also looking to only sell it through Bitcoin. Update
The game that made $1 billion in one day or something, and they...
No, but no. They were looking to sell the source code, which means that GTA 5 would immediately become exploitable through every avenue. So,
I understand.
Yeah.
I just find that they're like, I'm not going to accept any offer that's less than $10,000.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Wow.
Only wanting it through Bitcoin. And then so that was at 4 a.m. our time. Then at 6:30 a.m. our time, update on the Bitcoin purchase. The hacker has confirmed it wasn't his address, and someone has been scanned using his name. So the hacker wasn't selling the source code. Someone pretending to be the hacker.
So someone sent some other random person more than 5 figures for nothing.
Someone sent $100,000 worth of Bitcoin to someone pretending to be the hacker.
And then they fucked off.
And then they left without providing anything because they were pretending to be someone who hacked a company.
Wow.
Which, out of the entire story, that might be the funniest part of it. Is that someone was like,
there.
so they made a secondary account and like their account was about like 10 or 15 random letters. And they had made an account which was that same thing, but 2 of the letters were swapped like 3/4 of the way through the name.
Yeah.
And then managed to get 100,000 tax-free dollars.
Bitcoin dollars.
And what's the person who paid $100,000 going to say? Go to the cops and say, I tried to buy some illegally obtained source code to a game so I could exploit it?
Yeah.
The only way that money gets returned is if that was actually Rockstar doing like paying a ransom to try and get the money back. So funny. Look, since then, many people, Jason Schreier has come out to say, I've spoken to developers at Rockstar Take-Two. They have confirmed that the game is indeed real. It started to get serious enough that was becoming obvious. Especially they were sharing screen grabs of Confluent. The moment I started seeing Confluence articles, I'm like, this is legit. This is 100% legit.
Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually sounds pretty legit. And then Schreier did confirm it later on. He was like, not that there was much doubt when he wrote that, and I was like, oh, I doubted it. But he was like, I've confirmed with many of my people who I know from Rockstar that it is indeed legitimate.
Yeah.
Sam in the chat says, hacker pretends to be staff member, journalist pretends to be a staff member to speak to hacker, scammer pretends to be hacker to scam some other schmuck.
Yeah.
It's like burn after reading.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a fun 12 hours to be honest, in terms of like I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I've never seen someone leak so much of a game and take requests before. That was the most shocking thing to me.
No one has.
Like, to be...
Even without the requests, even if this was just like a dump and run, even if it was just the 90 videos, that is immense.
It's a ton of
a game
information.
so early, of a game so huge, right?
And we've heard rumors here and there about what the next GTA 6 is going to be. Like talking about how they're going to go back to Vice City. We've seen this leak. Now we know it's set in Vice City. We've seen it's going to be 2 protagonists, a boy and a girl, and we've seen 2 protagonists, boy and a girl. The code name is Americas. We knew that for a while. There's a bit more confirmation, I think, in this. It lines up with everything that we've seen, and so not all of it was new information, but still, that was a ton of information. It reminded me. It did remind me of the Cyberpunk hack, which we got to see pre-alpha footage back when that was a third-person game.
Yeah, totally. Although the hack happened after the game launched, didn't it?
Yes. The Cyberpunk hack did happen well after the game launched.
Yeah. I was thinking that if the public response, which seems it hasn't been big enough to warrant this, but I was thinking if the public response was big, like negative enough, that something Rockstar could do would be to like show the like 2009 build of GTA 5 and be like, this is what the game you've spent thousands of hours playing looks like 4 years before it came out.
That would have been good.
It clearly looks nothing like what you were so familiar with. So chill out.
Yeah.
There's this one tweet that I retweeted that I really liked. It's from Kirk McKeon, who writes, "Gamers looking at raw chicken and going, fucking hell, this curry looks awful."
Yeah, like, I was going through people talking about, like, the leak, and some people saying, like, I think leaks are bad, full stop. Some people, like, saying, like, my personal opinion is that I think that if a leak messes up a company's marketing strategy, I don't care.
Who cares? Yeah.
I can understand people who worked on the project being like, oh, like, I'm sad that the thing that I worked on didn't get to show off in the way that I wanted to work on it. Like, sorry, the way I wanted to show it off. I can understand that. I think that overall publishers should be far more transparent with what they're working on, and show more games in this state. So people who are not into this in a big way will see it and understand what they're looking at in terms of just like, oh, I think this looks bad. Like, yeah, no shit, it's not done. Like no one looks at the set pictures of a Marvel movie and say, hey, there's no special effects, right?
Yeah. Why is the background green?
Right. Yeah, and like as always, one of the smartest people in games, Imran Khan, tweeted, like, I feel like all leaked discourse problems could be solved if we didn't have such a secretive culture on things that are in development. When I see a movie set being shot by some dude with a phone camera, I don't go, wow, I thought they were going to use real cameras. Hell, you could argue it's movies becoming more secretive that is making them worse. That's why Marvel is afraid to use real sets anymore. Thus, the movies feel like the lack of sense of space. People can handle in development footage if we stop treating them like taboo. People who create monsters, I can't believe this monster is destroying my city.
Yeah.
Also, like, the sequel to the most profitable piece of media of all time is probably going to be fine, whatever people are dunking on it for today. Anyway, this is a multifaceted problem with no singular answer, but my point of all of it comes from hype and marketing-driven cycles that we are allowed publishers to cultivate, and now we accept as an out-and-out positive without question. This is the bed that big publishers have made for themselves, and I think they need to be more responsible in terms of educating their market.
Yeah, and we've seen a trend towards more and more open communication. Obviously there's been that very discernible trend of more developers being more comfortable to delay their games,
yes,
and take longer to release them and make sure they're better. And that kind of happened because Cyberpunk came out and was what it was, and sort of in a similar way to how microtransactions ramped up until we hit Battlefront 2 being so negative, and then it was like, all right, that's the bubble has burst. This is clearly dreadful. It's toxic. People want to get away from it. And we're definitely starting to see that. But yeah, there's got to be something more long form. And it's interesting saying that regarding this topic, because Rockstar are so clamped down.
Yes.
With this stuff, with all of their releases historically, they've been so clamped down. Like, when did it was, I want to say it was less than a year before the release of GTA 5 when we saw the first trailer for it. Like, it was nothing. One trailer, and then like nothing for 6 more months. Here's a longer trailer with more gameplay and stuff like that. It's coming out in a season or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was same with Red Dead 2. It was, I think, it was 8 months between announcement and release. And yeah, like, I think that there should be more transparency, a lot of that stuff. And I think, like a big part of there has been more of that lately, and a lot of that I think is due to people like NoClip. Being able to get that access, which is really good. And I think the thing that's important to know is that NoClip, at the end of the day, they need to be the most interested in stories that they want to tell. And they had to play with that line when they got access to do a video on Fallout 76 before the game was announced. And they got wept up in this thing of like, is this marketing? It kind of was, because it was
pre-release,
but it was span, right? Like they were in a marketing position via Bethesda, right? Bethesda gave them the information that they wanted to give them.
Yeah.
And like, the response to that game when it came out was overwhelmingly negative, and NoClip had this weird like they were kind of holding a bag in a way. Like, not that it's their fault, but they had put out this quite positive thing on this game.
Yeah.
Like documentary on this game, which the game itself ended up being quite a negative experience for everybody that was playing it. On the flip side of that was like Final Fantasy XIV, which if anyone has not seen the documentary, it's incredible, talking about the death of the previous version and the rebirth of Realm Reborn. Danny actually tweeted about the Rockstar thing, saying, "I think the argument that gamers don't actually have the capacity to understand more about how games are made is weak. A lot of it is about doing the work to provide deeper context. Studios can choose to do it, but it requires time, scary changes in thinking, and a lot of uncommon expertise," which I think is very true. That a lot of them don't have a vested interest in doing that. Probably because in the end of the day, if they don't do that, they can sell more pre-orders, which I think is gross.
Yeah, totally.
And
we haven't gone to it yet, but I played NBA today, and that's got a thing at the main menu where it shows you like a promotions page, where it's like, oh, this thing's happening this week. There was 5 items on it, and 4 of them were ways to spend virtual currency.
Yeah,
and then the 5th one was like, check out the story mode.
Yeah. And yeah, like he was responding to someone else saying capacity interest. Some folks have some folks talking about like how like some people are just generally not interested in how the sausage is made. And yeah, Danny's basically saying like he personally thinks that it's an untapped area, and that there is room for more people to do stories like that. But NoClip can only scratch the surface with the resources they have. So,
yeah, it's truly fascinating. I don't think this is going to have an effect on what the game is. If this leak has any sort of effect on the design of the game based on like feedback from then I think that would be a serious issue, because we're dealing with people who don't understand enough. The people who are loudest about this are the people who understand the least about what they're actually seeing.
I can't see there be any drastic changes based on any of this stuff. Like, I think you can cut through that noise pretty quickly to say the people that are complaining about it don't really know anything about how games are made.
And the people who are making the games know plenty about how games are being made, because it's one of the biggest developers in the world. They can pay for some of the best developers in the world. Like, it's a very strange time.
The thing
strange thing to have happened.
The thing I'm most curious about is seeing the finished product and comparing it to this, just to see what's changed. Just because I find that stuff interesting, but aside from that, like it's.
Yeah, I hope someone's got the videos and is sitting on them, so we can see them at the time.
Yes, they are. People would have saved them. It was.
I hope they remember to post them. Is the thing. I hope they remember to post them in like 3 to 5 years when GTA 6 comes out. When maybe Take-Two cares a bit less.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they won't. Like maybe they'll always take those videos down. But
maybe, but I can see them caring less about it once it comes out. Like at some point you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you for the recap, Jeremy. I wasn't following that for a lot of the time.
It's fun.
We're at 40 minutes. What do you say we go to a break?